So, do you want to get us underway?
How are you doing, guys? First of all, Steve, is there any team news? We've had a few pull-outs during the week, etc.
No, everyone is fully fit now. That's been named in the squad.
So, I'm going to assume, maybe I shouldn't, that Queevy Keller is going to start on the basis that Mark and Gavin have pulled out.
Yeah, no, Queevy will definitely start. That's absolutely right, And yeah, no, for sure. He'll play. Most likely play the 2 matches now. I think it's fair to say, and deservedly so. Like, he's had to be patient because he was a unfortunate injury. He missed the last March camp with injury, and Gavin Bazoon has come in and been absolutely outstanding. And obviously we're on a run of where we've sort of 4.5 games now consecutively without conceding a goal. So, and Gavin and Queegan's played his part in that because he played against Qatar. In Queegan's 2 matches to date against Qatar and Hungary, he hasn't conceded a goal either. So, no, he deserves his chance because it's been absolutely excellent.
And is this an opportunity for him to rival Gavin for the summer games?
Well, we have competition for places, and that's a good thing. Like, you never know in June or September who's fit or who's not fit or whatever issues there are. So it's good to have that depth and that level of competition. I look at that as a positive thing.
And what would you say are his best traits as a goalkeeper? Also, he's very good with his feet as well as his hands.
No, it's just he has all-round qualities, really. He has all-round qualities. I think his composure under pressure and his general athleticism are, his ability to make brilliant saves. But obviously he's been in a great environment in Liverpool, for a few years now, and training every day at a very high standard and playing in the games that he's played in. So he's got good experience.
Seamus, for you, it's the centenary of the FA, that's what the game is celebrating. I won't ask you about the current squad, but who would be the best Irish players in your view over the 100 years, if you like, and then the best players you played with, apart from the ones in the current squad?
Better not mention anyone in the current squad because I'll upset someone before tomorrow's game. I've been messed around. Listen, I've been lucky to play with some great players with Ireland. Damien Duff comes to mind, Richard Dunn, Robbie Keane, Shay Gibbon. I think they were, really, really powerful players for Ireland. I suppose growing up, you're looking at, for me, would have been looking at Roy Keane and how good he was for Ireland, how, in certain games carried them in big games, the Holland game, which was a memorable one, Jason McAteer scored, but Roy Keane's performance in that game was unbelievable. And there's some Irish players, and obviously ones before me that I can't remember, John Giles, Liam Brady, players like that, but they're the ones off the top of my head.
And as we've been talking about goalkeepers, there's a certain Donegal goalkeeper as well that you might remember from...
Packy?
Yeah.
Yes, Packy, yes. You mentioned Shane, not Packy, I can go down too well. Listen, Packy, for us young lads growing up in Donegal, he gave up his time plenty to come over to, local soccer clubs and cafes and, put on, training sessions and things like that. He was always very good with his time, and we all remember the penalty save as well. So, yeah, Shay and Packy, yeah.
And we've been talking about goalkeepers. Is this, though, a golden period for us in terms of keepers? You look at the potential of Queevy and you see what Gavin has done already in a very short space of time.
Listen, look, it's early days, and like everything, you don't want to put too much pressure on either of them at the moment. But to be completely honest with you, they're 2 exceptional goalkeepers. Like what we see in training on a daily basis from both of them, they're both to a very, very high standard. Both very humble lads as well, which is important, and both very eager to have a career in the game. And as I said, it's early days for them, but if they keep that mentality that they have along with the quality, then they can go a long way. But as I said, it's early days, but we're very excited by how they train and how they play.
And Steve, just on that one about the great Irish players, I mean, for you, growing up even, or looking back at the annals of history, who would be the Irish players that stand out for you?
So many, obviously, you know, when I was growing up, like we had 4 at Liverpool and 4 at Manchester United and the players at Arsenal and all the top clubs at the time, you know, so there were like so many great players really in that period. In the period that I was growing up, probably in the early years, like obviously Liam Brady was standing, you know, he was the most creative influence, you know, probably, and then you know, he was the player I thought was brilliant. After that, all of those players, when you know, the Ronnie Whelans and Ray Houghton's and all were all terrific, really creative players in that period. Like, I thought they were really, really exceptional.
Brilliant, thank you.
Gavin, please.
Stephen, can I ask you questions about the forward positions? What's Callum Robinson's best position? Is it your number 9 or is it one of the number 10?
Well, people would have a diverse view on that. They would say neither. They would say off the left, you know. I think where traditionally he played for Preston when he scored all his goals. And he played the 43 on left side and got his move. And then Sheffield United played in the front two with David McGoldrick and in a 3-5-2. But maybe they have similar attributes at times, some similar attributes that they, you know, so at times and he moves on. But definitely for us, I think it depends on the combination you're playing with. He can play either wide or central, and he did play wide in Azerbaijan, for example, with Adam Ida, and he got his 2 goals. But he played central against Qatar here when he got his hat-trick, and so it's great to be able to play both. I think it's to get players that complement each other together, playing in the and Chio does complement because he's maybe such a direct runner, and Chidozie does complement Callum because Callum likes to drop into a false 9 position, take up positions, and he's got a very, very good weight of pass, Callum has, and he's intelligent, and you know, so it's a matter of actually keeping him fit. Obviously, we know he's missed a couple of camps because we know it's well documented, obviously, the COVID issues and then with an injury as well. So we didn't have enough of him, you know, and I think we've seen what, since he's been, I think those few windows have shown him what he means to the Irish support as well when he's doing well. The adulation from the Irish support that he got in and around that period and getting a hat-trick and so forth. Very inspiring for him, and it shows the possibilities that exist going forward. And I think, you know, I know he's keen now, never to miss another game. He's very keen.
And then on another keen, like Will, like where does he fit into your team? Is he going to start tomorrow night? And do you see him pushing Adam Ida for that kind of first choice striker position?
Well, it gives another option. Obviously, Adam Ida knows the channels. He's a direct runner. He's someone who plays on the last line a lot, and he's very quick. Adam is. Will's not that. You know, he's very good with his back to goal. He drops into pockets. He's very intelligent. He's great awareness, sees passes, and he scores headed goals. Then, so he's someone who obviously injury has really interrupted his career. He's been very unfortunate. You have to have a degree of fortitude to come through that. He's had obviously a run of games, because when you're injured like that, and for periods it can scar you mentally in relation to getting those full season of games. And this is one season that he's really excelled, albeit at League One. But he scored 20 goals, but I wouldn't say even that's been his main contribution to Wigan, because he's contributed in so many other areas apart from his goals. So he's done well this season.
Final question on the live, please.
Stephen, how you doing? So just have a quick word about Conor Ronan, just in terms of a player who's very evident, who was key to your plans in the 21s and such a good link-up play in that sense. How's it going this week, and how is he here to play, or is he here to be observed, or is he here to play against Lithuania but not quite ready for a game like Belgium? How do you see his progress at this stage?
I think, you know, I like Conor Ronan. I've always liked Conor Ronan. I like his intelligence. And, you know, I think the thing about Conor Ronan is that some players, number 10s, have key moments in games. You know, they can maybe be quiet in games and have key moments. Conor's not like that. He gets more touches than anyone else in the game. If you look at his touches at the end of the game, he gets more than anyone. Just constantly involved in the game. Now, they're not necessarily always defence splitting passes. He keeps the game ticking over. Just going pass, receive, get on a lot of simple passes in the game. So he's very, his kilometres covered is off the charts. You know, he covers ferocious amount of ground, and he's an aggressive presser. Physically, he has challenges. Do you know kind of way that he's got to at the international level? He has physical challenges, and he's only had an amount of games at St Mirren and haven't broke his metatarsals like grasshoppers. So he's still emerging, and you know, he's just come into the squad. I'm not expecting him to burst onto the scene and be a big part of it straight away. You know, just finding his feet and coming into the squad. You know.
Okay, so that's the live section concluded.
Yeah, no, trying fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's the live section concluded. Anything from now on is embargoed till 11 p.m. tonight. Neil, do you want to get started?
I think just on Donegal goalkeepers, did Ed McGinty come into your reckoning at all? He's been very consistent with Sligo.
Well, we have some goalkeepers who are, you know, a lot of competition at the moment. But Ed has had a good start to the season. Obviously, he was in the under-21 team under Jim Crawford, and yeah, we're well aware of Ed. Well aware of him.
And secondly, sorry, you've spoken before about your ambition to dominate the ball in every game. How difficult is that against a side like Belgium? How do you go about trying to do it? And surely that's what they're trying to do as well.
Belgium are the world #1 team, and for a reason. Like, they've been very consistent in their approach, regardless of every game, whether it be Nations League, friendlies, qualifiers. They've that's why they're no world #1. They've racked up the wins regardless. They never, you know. I think they've got a huge strength and depth. I know I spoke to you today about Lukaku not being in the team, but they've got Origi, Batshuayi, and Benteke as options for one position, and other players that we're well aware of as well. So it's not a young Belgian team. It's a very, very experienced team, and physically big. You know, players like Anakin, 6'5", then Donker, really physically strong players as well. And obviously, Tillemans is probably one of the most sought after players now, midfield players in Europe now at the moment, and very influential. So they have a formidable team, Belgium. And the answer, do we want to? We're not playing the game to contain and nick something on the break or try and get a set piece or playing a low block. You know that I'm just not going to do that. You know what I mean? And I think you know, we've got good enough players to go and take the game to Belgium and try and play. You know, will they force it on the back foot at times? You know, inevitably that can be the case because they've got a lot of quality. But it's certainly our ambition to do well.
John, please.
Yeah, Stephen, on goalkeepers as well, like this time last year, Darren would have been perceived as being your #1 until he got the injury. Does what happened this week and the lack of minutes show that you really have to be playing matches to prevent yourself slipping down really in the pecking order?
Yeah, and it's not just matches, it's probably been in squads. Like, I've been consistent, like with Robbie Brady, I really admire Robbie Brady, you know, and Harry Arter. And James Collins, who's been in all our recent squads, who's just changed a manager and he's been dropped out of the Cardiff squad. And James Collins and even Jamie McGrath, who has been excellent for us recently, but he went to Wigan and to no fault of his own, he didn't perform badly. He just said, well, these lads have done well for me, you're at the other end of the queue, you'll have to wait your turn. And he found himself not playing. So I think Darren's still only 34, and you know, certainly I'd love to see him go and get playing matches. He just hasn't been able to, obviously been in squads and playing matches, but I've been sort of consistent with those players, all those players, and they've all been great. You know, some of the early players I mentioned, Brady, Randolph, Arthur, they've been great service for Ireland. You know, the door's not closed on anyone.
And just secondly, like, this has been a fairly long build-up for a friendly Monday to Saturday. Like, how do you get the balance right? Probably one more for Seamus in terms of the work schedule and also maybe give them a bit of time off to do different things.
Yeah, no, it's been a good week for me personally. I played Sunday, so you know, it takes a couple of days to recover. But you know, as a team, we were fit to bond a little bit and spend a bit of time together, which was good. So no, to be honest, we always love coming away. The grip is very hard to explain unless you're in the grip. It's not like a chore coming away and you think you're sitting in an hotel room for a week with the lads. We all get on really well, whether it be, you know, with staff members that are there already or whatever. There's just a really good atmosphere amongst the group, amongst the hotel, and no, it hasn't felt like a long week. Obviously, for me, I missed the first couple of days training and recovery days, so you're eager to get going. But no, the weeks will pass by, no problem.
Owen, please.
Seamus, you mentioned the great players of the past. Do you think there's many in this squad we can talk about in 20 or 30 years, or what needs to happen with this team so we do talk about them like that?
Yeah, it's very difficult to see that. For me, you know, I probably spoke to you numerous times about my opinions on players and what's needed, and you know, the top players or the players of the real high quality that we have in the squad. You know, it's never just about that. They've got to stay humble, they've got to stay hungry, they've got to stay focused, and the rest of the stuff that comes with being a professional footballer has got to like go to the back of your mind. And if the players in the squad or any squad want to be the best they can be, then if they just have to be fully focused on wanting to be a professional footballer at the highest level, and there's no doubt about it. Like, we've got some very good players there and some really good characters, but you've got to stay focused and never for a minute think that you've arrived, because I think when you start to think like that, then you know it can be a slippery slope for people as well. So I can't predict who will be the players we'll be talking about, but we definitely have some quality in there.
Philip, please.
Seamus, I'm just on that one. Sorry, I'm just Stephen first, mate. Stephen, just back to Darren Randolph there. You brought in James Talbot this week. You said the doors were closed on Darren. Did you consider bringing him in and having him work with Keegan Kelleher? And instead of just reminding him, look, there's still a role here for you, you haven't forgotten you?
Yeah, well, it's just gone back to players that are playing regularly in squads, you know, so that's in relation to, so that's, you know, just about being consistent, as I said, in relation to all the other players as well. James was excellent in Europe for Bohemians, very good, like in all those games, you know, really good. I was at the 3 games here in the Aviva Stadium, and he was absolutely excellent. And you know, really looked a real good keeper, and is in on merit over a period of time. You know, his performances every week, you know, is in on merit. Now listen, there's no doubt Darren Randolph has been an outstanding goalkeeper for Ireland. I'm not trying to diminish his, you know, he's been a great goalkeeper for Ireland, there's no doubt about that.
Everything's okay with you and him? There's no issues?
No, Joe, you know, I've called him into the summer squad. You know, I actually left Mark out and brought him in, but then obviously he couldn't make it, so or he didn't feel right in the end. So with his injuries, but no, I don't have no issues with anyone. To be honest with you, no issues with anyone.
Seamus, I know you're on Irish duty, but Everton Football Club were the club of Irish fans before Liverpool ever even acknowledged that. And a lot of people at a certain age were a bit concerned about where they are now. I know you're on Irish duty, but do you reckon you can get out of where you are when you go back to your club, and what's it going to take?
Yeah, listen, I'm on Irish duty, of course I'm on Irish duty, but I've got a massive affection for that football club as well, so it's not like you come here and turn a switch off and forget about what's going on back at club level. But belief, work rate, togetherness, and you know, we had a massive result against Newcastle, and then unfortunately went to Crystal Palace and it wasn't to be. But I know the fans are frustrated. I know it's a difficult time for everyone at the football club, but belief, hard work, fire in your belly, and full determination to get out of that situation that we're in, and that's all I can say on that, because we've got 11 games left, and you know, we just got to give it everything.
Finally, Aidan.
Just two for Seamus. There's a lot of support and solidarity within football at the moment for Ukraine. Seamus, you have a teammate at club level. Just first of all, how is he? A lot of talk of football about focus, how he can do his job.
Yeah, Nico. He's a fantastic lad. You know, he's a quiet lad. He's saying in January, really good lad. And yeah, listen, we can't even imagine how he's feeling. You know, you're there for him. You try and support him as best you can. You let him know that you're there for him. The club are there for him, but you know, his family and all are back there, so it's very difficult for him. But yeah, listen, we're there for him. I'm sure it's hard for him to focus to do his job, but he's coming in training every day and doing what he can, and he's got the support of his teammates, any little bit of support that we can give.
And just secondly, I know there's a negatives here for us, the team, to get those matches in June out of the way, uncertainty and everything else, but it's important to have sensitivity as well, that they don't know when they can play. I know you would like to have those dates. I think Steve Clark said the other day he doesn't see any way that Ukraine will be able to play in June. Just how, as an association, as a team, how do we handle that without putting pressure on Ukraine to think of the Nations League?
Yeah, well, listen, that's bigger and better than me, bigger and more important than me as an Irish footballer. But yeah, you'd like to think, yeah, there'd be no pressure on that nation to do anything. You know, they're going through a lot. Again, we're sitting here talking about them going through a lot. Really, we don't know how much and how troublesome their life is over there, and for Miko Lenko at our place, how he actually feels, how he sleeps at night. So, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know how it feels to be one of them or to be in their situation. So again, I'm sure football is the last thing on their mind over there.
Thank you very much, guys.